Evening, lads. I hope we're all well. Tonight, I'm just going to do my first impressions of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. We're about 2.5 to about 3 hours into it. We've experienced the first full night as Fire, following that up with the first detective session with Fabian. So we're going to go into some light spoilers, of course, during this kind of first impressions. Light spoilers, as mentioned, the first kind of full night. So I'd say like the first kind of chapter of the game. There isn't really chapters in the game, but if there was, I would probably describe this as kind of the first kind of chapter. And just kind of giving like my initial thoughts, kind of how I'm feeling about the game so far. And I'm also using this as kind of a test of the new microphone that I've hooked up. So please let me know if you prefer this, if you prefer the old microphone, what you'd like to maybe see, if there's maybe some changes we can do with the microphone. Just please let me know. In the background, I'll probably just have some random gameplay as well, just to kind of like, keep the neurons firing, like that fucking TikTok brain rot kind of shit going on. So don't worry too much if you're an audio only. But yeah, I'll give a bit of history. So I played Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1 when I was way too young to be playing that game, and I loved it. It really did cement as one of like those classic games that I would always go back to. I really did love my time with Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1. I still remember the haunted hotel sequence in Bloodlines 1. It was probably one of the scariest things I ever done when I was younger. That shit terrified me. And the game, I love the modding community for the game. I occasionally go back and check out some of the mods. I know there's like an RTX project that's been going on for quite some while now, where they're updating all the graphics. I've not looked into it much recently, but like the modding community for Bloodlines 1 is dedicated and truly are passionate about the game. It's truly beautiful to see, to be honest with you. Going on to the game though, so when it comes to Bloodlines 2, we all kind of know about like the development hell that it went through. Like many, I got in on the ground floor of the ARG. There was an ARG before the game was officially announced. I can't remember the exact name of the app. I'm kind of doing this a bit loosey-goosey without a script, but it was essentially like a Tinder ripoff. Where you would make a Tinder profile and it would actually like tie you to like a blood type, which is like a thing in the world of darkness. That like different people, like it's kind of like zodiac signs almost, like different personalities had different blood types and things like that, and then that would affect the taste of the blood and maybe even the effects that blood would have on you depending on like your clan and your blood allegiance and stuff like that. Really interesting stuff if you ask me, to be honest with you. I really did like enjoy that kind of like concept. And when that was getting done, there was a lot of the original developers, to my knowledge anyway, that was working on the project. Everyone seemed super passionate about the games, and the plan was it seemed to really make Bloodlines 2 a true sequel to Bloodlines 1. That doesn't really seem to have happened though. During it, it seems that there was development hell. The development of the game changed hands to a different company that didn't really have any ties to the world of darkness, from my understanding. And they kind of shifted it from this kind of idea of making like a traditional RPG similar to Bloodlines 1 into more of kind of an action-orientated RPG. And you can really feel that. I feel like there are parts in the game, like especially at the start of the game, that it really feels like this was designed with the intent of being an RPG. The world is really open when you get out to it. It really reminds me of Ghostwire Tokyo. Really reminds me of Ghostwire Tokyo. Honestly, I would like, I maybe I should say this at the end of the review or the first impressions, but I really do think. I really do think that the game. It's just a bad Ghostwire Tokyo. Like, to be truthful, like everything that Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 does, Ghostwire Tokyo does a lot better, I think. That opinion might change a little bit as I play on, but it really does remind me of just kind of like a less interesting Ghostwire Tokyo. Like the world's super interesting. It's really big. I feel that's also a problem. The world feels really big. Like the traversal does take some time, I feel, to get from A to B. Like I do like this kind of idea of like a semi-open world. Like I don't hate that, but I feel it's just a wee bit too big, When it comes to the characters, I quite like Fire. Fire's been quite interesting. I don't hate Fire. I really like their voice acting. Fabian's really fun. Really like his voice acting. I know I can't remember their name. It's left me. It starts with a T. one of the first Nosferatu that you meet in the world. Like I really like his voice actor as well. I feel maybe he's been given poor direction, but like the voice actor themselves feels like they've done like a really good job of the character. I quite like that kind of campy, gay sort of like idea behind a Nosferatu. The only complaint really I have for that character is actually their design. I honestly think they're just not ugly enough. Like I really think that Nosferatu, like they should have made him fucking disgusting. But he looks like, he kind of gives me like Fallout 4 ghoul vibe, where it's kind of like I feel like a lot of like the artistic design from the Nosferatu has been kind of lost in Bloodlines 2. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, and I've kind of went on a bit of a tangent there about something very specific. But the characters I'm quite enjoying. The dialogue system is fairly cool. I do like the choices. But however, while playing it, especially when I go into kind of Fabian's section of like kind of the first block that I've played, you kind of realize that you can't. It feels like you can't fuck up. It really feels like you can't fuck up. Like when you get introduced to specific characters, like you're kind of told a wee bit about their personality from Fabian. So I was kind of answering the questions as I would think that they would want to hear. Like I was trying to hold the conversation in the manner that their personality it would be best for their personality to kind of give me what I want from them. But then when I got into Fabian's mission, there's a girl that you have to use his Malkavian powers to kind of manipulate her into giving you the information that you want, which is a really cool idea. But the issue is you can't fuck up. Like I gave her the wrong answer twice, but you can just start again. There's no alternative to get that information. There's no investigation or anything like that. So, like, I'm starting to think maybe now, as I'm going to continue playing the game, it might become more apparent of this idea that, like, yeah, like, you might get the notification that, oh, the person didn't like you asking that question, kind of like a Walking Dead game or like Fallout 4. But, like, will it actually matter in the long run? Because if this kind of important part of learning a wee bit about Fabian, especially because Fabian's a detective, there's no detective work. You can't get it wrong, you know? So I'm kind of concerned that going forward, our choices aren't actually going to matter that much and we're not really going to have much of an impact on the world. The world itself does look beautiful. It is a very nice looking game. Once again, though, like, going back to this idea that it feels like it was designed for an RPG and then this isn't the RPG. There's areas that I've went to, like, you go to a bar and when you get to the bar, everyone's just automatically hostile and they kind of play it off as like, oh, it's only crazy anarchs that are out, it seems. None of the cool-headed anarchs are here. But, like, it feels like these are hubs that you're meant to go to and get side quests and meet characters, similar to Bloodlines 1. But it seems that that's not going to happen. Like, we just went there, we fought some guys, and then we left. Speaking of fighting, the combat's really weird. I want to like the combat, but I really don't. One of the big detriments of the game so far is that there's no inventory. There's no inventory in the game, so once again taken away from that RPG mechanic system. But because of that, there's also no weapons. You can only punch people. You can only punch or use this like telekinesis power. I picked to play Tremere, and Tremere does seem to have like some sort of like blood dagger ability later in the skill tree, so that is like an alternative. But the fact that I'm stuck to doing combat kind of, once again, with fists, it kind of once again makes me feel like I'm being trapped into playing this very specific way of playing the game. You can use telekinesis to pull guns, like pistols and shotguns, and kill people that way. But like, I don't know, like, why can't we just hold the gun? Why can't we just pick up guns and use them? Why can't we pick up knives and that? Like, there seems to be no weapon progression at all. It will just be when you level up, your punches might do more damage, and that'll be it. You'll have your blood magic, and that'll be it. Which, like, it just feels like a weird limitation. The combat itself is kind of weird as well. Like, sometimes I like it and sometimes I don't like it. Characters seem to be a wee bit on the chubby side. Like they can tank a lot of hits. I'm playing on normal difficulty actually. And I feel that some people are a wee bit spongy, you know? Some things as well, like, so to heal you have to either use a consumable or you have to feed on someone. When you get someone low enough, when their HP gets low enough, you can feed on someone during combat. But while you're doing that, people can hit you and you get stuck in animations. There's not like a quick way of feeding. you just get stuck in the animation. So you could get a long animation and die because of that, which is kind of like a weird thing. Like, I feel like because you're in combat, you should be using different feeding animations. You know, you shouldn't be forced to do the long ones. Which I feel, once again, just kind of a weird choice. Like, it doesn't seem, I don't think that adds difficulty. It just kind of like adds tediums, because like sometimes it's not like, sometimes you just lose HP and you need to heal, and sometimes you can do it from far enough away. But some characters, some of the enemies have like charge attacks and stuff, so they can get on top of you, or if they have a gun, they can shoot from range. So it's not even like you can try to position yourself. I feel like combat is designed to be close quarters, but then your healing requires close quarters. And unlike Doom, like Doom 2016, where when you kill someone close quarters, you instantly get the HP back, and you get it's a quick animation. You get stuck in these really long animations. It just means that you're gonna die. It's just kind of strange. So far the game's just been like, I'm gonna finish it. I've got stuff going on today, so I won't really be able to stream today. So I'm probably gonna play some more tomorrow on stream. But like, the game's just weird. I don't really know how else to describe it. Like, I think it's just, to me personally, it's a bit of a letdown. Like, as it is right now, I'd probably be rating it like a 6 out of 10, maybe a 5 out of 10. I don't really know. Between 5 and 7 out of 10 is kind of the range I feel like I'm going to be giving the game. Like, it doesn't do anything too bad. The combat's fine. The dialogue is interesting. The voice actors are really fucking good. The world is cool looking. It's just like, if you went into it expecting Bloodlines 2, it's really not. Like, the idea of it being in the vampire world is cool. I really like the idea. I really like World of Darkness, and I really want more World of Darkness games. I would love like a game where you play a vampire hunter. I would love more werewolf content, or even just vampire content, I would love to be able to play warlocks and wizards and mages. Like, there's so much cool stuff in World of Darkness, and we just don't really get to explore a lot of it. So I do hope the game does well enough that they continue doing stuff in this world. But like right now, if it was called like Vampire the Masquerade Seattle, I don't think a lot of the issues we have right now would exist. I feel I'm being very critical of the game because it's called Bloodlines 2, so I'm expecting a Bloodlines game. It would be like if, like, I feel it's like, you could maybe compare it to Assassin's Creed, where how Assassin's Creed changed from the way it was into kind of the more kind of RPG way of Assassin's Creeds are nowadays. I feel like you could maybe compare it to that, but I feel like that transition was done a lot better, and people are more willing to accept that transition, because while we lost some things, we gained other things. Like, not everyone's happy with that transition. I, for one, I'm a bit iffy on it. I've only really played Odyssey, and I had some issues with Odyssey, but I do want to go back and give those games another shot. But like, there is a fandom for that type of game, and it does seem to be popular. But I feel with Bloodlines 2, it's like, instead of getting, nothing feels like, there's no reason I feel right now for me to play Bloodlines 2 over Bloodlines 1. Is kind of how I feel right now. I do hope that opinion changes. I do hope that Bloodlines 2 can stand on its own. But as it is, like, it's a fine game. Like, if you've never played a Vampire the Masquerade game in your life and you pick it up, I'm sure you would think it's good, if not great. But like, going into it as a Vampire the Masquerade fan, I'm just a little disappointed is all so far. Like I said, I'm really hoping that opinion changes. But I'll just need to keep playing and finding out. I do have some critiques of the combat and things like that, but like, it's not horrible, like, it's doable. I do worry it might get a bit tedious. That's probably my biggest concern of combat, is because like, right away it's like, you've got your stealth, you've got your fists, and you've got your blood magic or your blood powers, and it's like, beyond that you don't really have anything else. So depending on how long the game is, if it's an 8 to 16 hours game, that combat's probably going to get quite tedious, because I imagine that as I level up, those spongy enemies are going to stay spongy. Unless it really does become a bit more of a power fantasy, and as I level up, other characters don't get stronger. Like, most of the people you're fighting are Finbloods, and it is kind of waved away right now, where the reason you feel sluggish and you're not as powerful as you should be. So we will need to wait and see kind of what goes on there. I do hope that once we start kind of solving the problems and we do get our powers back, we do just start fucking obliterating these Finbloods. But I'll need to play more of the game to find that out. So far, the game's fine. Bit disappointed as a Bloodlines fan, but the game's fine. I do have a few critiques about it. I feel I've been quite negative on this so far, and it is just because it's coming from the perspective of a Bloodlines fan. But the game's just fine. The game is just fine. It's saying right now it's going to be getting between probably a 5 and a 7. 5 if the game doesn't really do anything more to kind of impress me. 6 if the game kind of hits mids, and then I can see it being a 7 if, as the game goes on, it ends up impressing me, be it through the story, be it through the way our character develops. I'm not entirely sure. Perhaps maybe the skill trees will interest me a lot more. That's one thing as well about skill trees, actually, just before we wrap up, that I'm not 100% sure on, and I might be reading it wrong, but it's just kind of from my cursory glance, you can get any blood power in this game. It's like, so you when you pick your clan, all that does is it just makes it so that your clan specific powers are the cheapest powers on the skill tree. To get then other clans' powers, you have to be that level, plus then it costs more resources. So you can unlock every blood power on the one character. So, which is kind of weird, I feel, because then it's like, at the start of the game when it introduces the clans, it also gives each clan like a difficulty, easy, medium, or hard. But I don't really believe that, because it's like, yeah, like playing La Sombra, for instance, might be a little bit harder at the start, but as the game progresses, like, you'll just get the powers from the stronger clans, and then it won't be hard anymore, you know? Like, I feel, I might be reading that wrong, but that's kind of how I'm viewing it right now, and if that is the case, I'm not 100% sure I like that, because it kind of takes away a lot of the replayability of the game, because there's nothing stopping me from just getting the La Sombra powers on my Tremere. Like, why would I need to play the game again to experience the La Sombra playthrough? Especially because there's no disadvantages to clans as well. Like, I believe it's La Sombra that they don't like technology. Whenever they try to use technology as part of their blood clan, technology always breaks on them. It's one of their curses. But there's nothing like that in the game. Because the game's a linear game, if the game needs you to go on an elevator, that elevator's never going to break unless it's meant to break. Like, a La Sombra should maybe go into elevators and then they break, and then they have to maybe find another way up the skyscraper. But that's not the case, which is a bit of a shame. Once again, I feel it's because instead of it being kind of like a roguelike, it is more of a linear action RPG. So, like, these areas are designed specifically to go there once and never go there again. So they didn't want to spend the time to do that, and then obviously they didn't put any curses in at all. So once again, it takes away a wee bit from the game. I really wish it was curses. It is a missed opportunity, I think, not having curses in the game. But what are you going to do? Anyway, overall, the game's a wee bit disappointing so far, but I'm going to finish it, and I hope by the end I'm like, it's just a fine game. But we'll just need to wait and see, gamers. Thanks for stopping by. I hope the new mic is okay. I think I bumped it about halfway through the video, so there might be a wee bit of interference. I'll need to check that out after recording. But yeah, this is my unscripted initial thoughts after playing for the first 3 hours of Vampire. And yeah, I'll catch you around later, gamers. Thanks for listening. If you like the video, like the video. If you dislike the video, get a wee dislike. And please give me some comments on the new mic, on everything, you know. On your thoughts on Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines too, if you're a Bloodlines fan in general. I'd love to know. Anyway, gamers, I'll see you around. Bye-bye!